Hello everyone! I do not have a plan today for this video, so we are just gonna kind of chit chat about whatever kind of comes to mind, and I have some things also written down that I just kind of think about throughout the week, so maybe we'll chat about those, but for right now, let's just kind of chat about whatever comes to mind for me. First of all, let's just do a quick update on how this month is going so far. It's been going really good. We're right on track with all of our budgeting. And one thing is that I am doing pretty good at not eating out. So the thing with that is that we did get Texas Roadhouse once with a friend, and then not technically, yesterday my mom came into town and stayed the night, and she offered to pay for Chinese food for all of us. It was me, my husband, my brother, my niece, my son, and my mom. So she bought all of us Chinese, so thank you, Mom, if you're watching this, for that. And then, so I was able to eat out twice this month. Other than that, I did not eat out at all. So, and I'm hoping to continue that. I've been a little bit more mindful about what I'm ordering at the grocery store as well, trying to incorporate some healthier options. That's really hard when you're on a budget, especially because I feel like the grocery store purchases have been increasingly getting more and more expensive as the months have kind of gone on in this year. And so, trying to stay on a budget and also get your protein and all of that in is kind of difficult. I feel like it's really easy to just eat pasta every day and, like, I don't know. So, like sandwiches and stuff like that, things that maybe haven't been the healthiest. So that's interesting. Just trying to figure out how I can maintain eating healthy and staying on a budget. I feel like I've kind of gotten into a groove of things, but I do predict that maybe for this month our budget for the groceries, it was at $750. I think I'm going to spend probably about $800 this month. So I'll probably go over $50, but I would say that's not too bad considering I am not eating out and or like barely eating out, and I am trying to focus more on protein and healthier options rather than just making us spaghetti for 3 times a week. I'm just kidding. I don't only make spaghetti 3 times a week, but you get what I mean. We're right on track with everything. I did call, and if you guys saw my previous video for my September financial reset, my water bill, or no, it wasn't my water bill. It was my sewer and trash from our city. They switched over to a new system and I had to pay that $145. I did call and get our new account number and I was able to pay that. And then I went through just briefly and I opened up all of my boxes for all my fall decor, and I feel like maybe, just maybe, I might be able to get away with not buying anything decor-wise for fall. We'll see, but I feel like I'm just sitting here kind of like, you don't need that. Like, I could take the $50. I have $80 in a like fall holiday budget. I feel like I could take 50 of that, put that towards my grocery fund because I know that I'm going over in my groceries, and then the other 30 of it could just, I don't know, go to my student loans or something. I just don't think I need anything for decor for the fall because I don't feel like it's going to change my life or make my life easier, and I'm trying to focus on things that are strictly going to make my life easier. Speaking of making things easier, I had a friend. She was telling me that night, she was like, we have a garage sale that we're doing the next day. She's like, just send me with some of your stuff in a box and I'll sell it for you, and then I'll bring you back whatever doesn't sell. So I was like, okay, yeah. So that night I got a bunch of stuff together that could go to a garage sale, like kids' toys, things that we kind of had on hand that we could sell, and got a bunch of totes ready for her. She took those with her in her car, and then she brought back what didn't sell, and then I made $107 through that. So that was kind of cool. So pretty easy for me. All I had to do was just get everything prepared. We put prices on them while we were here that night she took everything with her and then she sold it for me. So shout out to my friend for doing that. So I was really grateful for that. And then she is having another big garage sale. It's like multiple families that do a big garage sale, and then they do it at someone's house where like they also plan with all of their neighbors. So they're talking about doing that again in the spring. So if that is the case and they do it in the spring, then I will definitely be on board with doing that. I'll just need to kind of over the winter kind of put stuff together that I want to sell at the grocery store, at the garage sale. So yeah, it's kind of hard to like pick through and decide what is good to go for a garage sale, and then like how much you like want to put a reasonable amount on all of the items. So I'll just kind of get things ready as this winter and put it off to the side for a spring garage sale. So maybe I can make a couple, like 100 or two in the spring as well. That could go towards my student loans to help, because I know that my goal to pay off my student loans is by June of next year, but I think I'm going to be like $2,000 or $3,000 short. So I needed to find out some ways to make some extra money to put towards those. One, it's going to help that we're putting some extra money towards it this month by whatever we're making on top of like what we've already planned or budgeted for. We're not going to save it. We're just going to put that towards the student loans. And then it will help doing maybe some stuff like selling some things and whatnot. What else? Oh, we are going to make a purchase for some of my son needs fall and winter clothes, so I do need to make a purchase online or wherever for some clothes for him for fall and winter. He needs like sweatpants, pants, long shirts, a coat, all those things, because when they're little, the next year the things that fit them last year definitely do not fit them this year. So we've already discussed it. We're going to take some money out of our savings and go ahead and put it towards some clothes for him. As mentioned before, I don't do sinking funds. We just do like a general savings, and then when things like needing fall clothes for my son or needing to pay for like an unexpected bill or something, we just take that out of our savings, and then we just try to recoup that back into our savings so that we always kind of remain at a consistent balance in our savings account, if that makes sense. If you haven't seen my previous videos, then you don't know that we have two separate savings accounts. One is an emergency savings account. We don't touch that money. The other is just a general savings account that we are, I want to say, free to spend from, but it's not really like, we can't just spend willy-nilly from the savings account. If we're taking money from that savings account, it is something that my husband and I have to discuss and make sure that we are both on board with spending that money before we are going to go ahead and use it. So it's not like my husband can just go and make a purchase and just say, oh, I'm just taking it out of the savings. He has to discuss it with me, no matter what the amount is, before we go ahead and do that. So that's just kind of what we've done as a couple to kind of make our finances work for us. Every time I edit, I always laugh at when I like take a drink of water, and I notice that I like mess with my hair and stuff. Anyways, what I was saying is that I've mentioned before, and obviously was just talking about the fact that my husband and I are pretty good at discussing finances. And I know that finances are one of those things that cause fights with people in their relationship, and or it can just be kind of a sensitive topic or subject, because money, especially if you're having maybe like money troubles or you have debt or things like that, like it can just build tensions in the relationship. It can build tensions in the household. It can make making decisions a little bit harder. And so it's just something that it's really important that you and your spouse are able to kind of come together and kind of come to a central agreement. So that is one thing that I kind of wrote some things down on, and that was kind of what budgeting with a spouse can be like and what you should kind of pay attention to. So I guess we can kind of talk about that if we want to, or if I want to, now that you guys get to make a decision here. But so when I have some notes here on my phone, but options, so I wrote down options of accounts. So if you are budgeting with a spouse, and usually I recommend that you do this if you are married, or you could do it if you're engaged. Just be cautious if you are only dating and you choose to bring money together. Just go into it with a full awareness. So let's talk about options of accounts while you are married. So if you want, when you are married, you can go fully joint. So everything that you have obviously just gets joined together. You can be fully separate from each other. So we have friends that are fully separated from each other, like their husband and wife, or they do not share accounts at all. And you just have to kind of figure out what is going to work best for you. But what my husband and I have found that work best for us is that we are half and half. So we have a joint account, we have a joint savings account, and then we have separate checking accounts and separate savings accounts. The caveat to this is that we already, those like separate checking accounts and savings accounts we had before we even got married. And so we just kept those, and then we got ones combined. So with our joint checking accounts, we actually don't even have debit cards that work for them. They just exist. I don't know why, but they just exist. And like we both are aware of that, we barely have anything in our checking accounts, our separate ones, because they aren't really like helpful. The only thing is that I get paid into my checking account, my separate one, because that's just what I put down on my direct deposit when I started at my job. Because when I started at my job, we were not yet married. We were engaged, or we had just gotten engaged or something. And so I had it go into there. So I just haven't changed my direct deposit. And then my husband deposits his checks into his separate account as well. And then we can pull some money out into our savings if we want to, or we can add money into our joint savings. It just kind of depends what needs money. So like if we need to replenish the savings, our general savings, because we made some purchases, then we're going to want to put money into that help to kind of bring that back up. Other than that, we have decided on a set amount of money that we put together into our joint savings account every month, or every time we get paid, I should say. And then because that is a high yield savings account, our other savings accounts are high yield too, but our joint savings account is a high yield savings account, so we want to keep as much as we can in that. And then we will move what our amount is into our joint checking account for all of our monthly spending and whatnot. So it's a little confusing because we're just like moving money, but that's just kind of what we're used to doing, and we're just always aware of what the other one has. Like at any point I can say, can you pull up your account? I just want to see like how much is in that other savings account that you've got, because his other savings account is also a high yield savings account. And so that is our emergency fund, but it's like, it's separate from like he has it, but he like transfers it if we need to use it. But that way I can just be like, oh, can you pull that up so I can see what's in that amount, what's in that account? Or he can say like, hey, pull up your account. I'd like to see what's in yours. And then we always talk about like, oh, I used he'll use the Menards card. Like he did this a month or two ago, he used the Menards card. And then, I just need to remember to then pay that account. Or if we use the Amazon card, we like can both get notifications that we can see that someone bought something. And then we always talk about, hey, I bought laundry detergent, or hey, I noticed we were out of dish soap, so I went ahead and bought that. I would say 95% of our money is joint. So yeah, I think some people might think that we are insane for just doing it the way that we do by separating those, like having separate accounts and then having joint. Some would probably be like, that is way too confusing for me. I'd rather everything just go in one account, or that's way too confusing. I'd rather do separate. Either way, it's fine, but we only spend from our joint checking account, and then we basically just move money from there depending on like where we need to be or what we have allotted for purchase or whatever. That is how we have set ours up, and you do whatever works for you. I think the one thing that is really helpful is that we are very aligned on our goals. So if you are not already with your spouse, I would sit down and I would align yourselves on your goals for what is your short-term goals of what you want to take care of, what are your long-term goals. So like for us, our long ultimate term goal is to buy another house and move out of this one. Hold on, my son just woke up. Okay, sorry, my son woke up and was calling out for me, and he's taking a nap right now. So I went and got him back down. But as I was mentioning before, I'm just going to keep my voice a little bit lower so that I don't wake him up. But I think what I was saying before is that you and your spouse have to have the same or similar goals. They don't have to be the exact same, but at least similar in some capacity that you guys can kind of come to a mutual agreement. So I highly recommend sitting down with your spouse, writing down all of your goals of what you want to, kind of what you see your financial life looking like, and then just kind of making sure that you guys are sticking to those goals and having regular conversations about them. The last point that I'm going to make right now, at least for this video, I can make a whole video on budgeting and finances with your spouse, but is that you need to understand and have trust within your relationship surrounding money. So you have to trust your partner that they are going to make a good financial decision. And then you also, as the other partner, need to understand that your partner is trusting you to also make good financial decisions. So you don't want to break that trust that you guys are building, and you don't want to go out and make purchases that haven't been agreed upon or talked about, and vice versa. You don't want your spouse going out and making purchases or financial decisions that are affecting you that you guys have not discussed or talked about. If you feel at any point that that trust is kind of either being slighted, or maybe they're not holding up to the trust that you are putting in them, that's where you have to sit down, have those conversations, come back together, and hopefully that works out for you. There's a whole thing of if they continue to break the trust or continue to spend when they're not supposed to, or not that they're not supposed to, but like not communicating it, and there's a lot more to it, but I think at the basis of like setting things up is just coming together, figuring out what your account goals are, like whether you want them to be separate or together, what your goals in general are finance-wise. What are you kind of seeking to have in life? Do you both want a house? Do you both want to buy a car? What are you looking for? What do you want your retirements to look like? All of that. And then just making sure that you're understanding that your spouse is holding a trust within you and you are trusting your spouse. So those are the three like main points that I would say are really important when you are talking about coming together with finances. I don't know, maybe I'll bring my husband on for a video sometime and we could talk with him. I don't know if he'd even want to, but I will check with him and see if that would be something that he's interested in. Other than that, I try not to make my finances and that too complicated, so I really just do kind of like weekly check-ins of our spending, and if we are on track and doing just fine, I don't even really bring it up to my husband. And then if we're spending too much, that's where I'll maybe say something, and then at the end of the month I'll just kind of give him an overview of where we were at. And we just kind of come together there. And so I don't want it to be something that is really complicated that we have to do every single day, or we have to do these complicated things and write everything down. And I just try to simplify it, and that is what works best for us. But some people love to come together, write things down, do whatever works best for you guys. Other than that, spending is going really well, and I think we're on track to make a pretty good payments this month for student loans. I've already paid $1,000. So what I've been doing is paying $500 a week towards my student loans. And then at the end of the month, I'll just pay whatever is extra that we have saved up or whatever. So I'm just making $500 payments every week. That way, instead of doing it once a week, it will kind of help to lessen the amount of interest, and then overall I'll end up making a couple extra payments because there is 52 weeks in a year. So you will end up making, I believe, 2 extra payments in the year. So because of your extra Fridays. I feel like right now that's pretty much all I have to talk about. I didn't really have any plans for this video today, but I wanted to get something out there. So I just kind of wanted to do a chatty, see wherever my thought process went to. And so that's kind of where it went for right now. Just a fun little chat. And then, I also, if you haven't seen it, I did a what I spend in a day last week. I just kind of took you along on a vlog, and then I also did investing for beginners from a beginner. So what I'm kind of doing to get started with investing, if you haven't already seen that, as well as don't forget to check out my September financial reset. And I can't believe we're already, let's see, let's look at in 2 weeks, I'll be making my October financial reset. So October will be fun because we have a vacation in October. We will be gone for a week. We are going on a family road trip. So that will be really fun, and I will just kind of update you guys on that. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.